Okay, folks, welcome to the news. We team of journalists here, the office of Councillor Sayma Syrenius Cephus, where he has called us to respond to this alleged Saga that emanated from Babur County, involving the former Justice Minister and Dean of the Cabinet, or Attorney General, Councillor Musa Dean. So, welcome. Let's join him, Councillor Cephus. Welcome to the media.
Thank you very much.
Councillor Cephus, in a nutshell, can you just give a summary of this entire saga that involved this Damo issue?
Thank you. I have decided to accept this opportunity to speak to the press because many of my friends around the world, because I am the president of the Association of Councils of International Criminal Courts and Tribunals around the world. So many of my friends from the European bar, from the African bar, and from Saga have been calling me to find out why is it behind a fellow colleague of the fraternity, the legal profession. And that person that they've been calling is called Musa Dean. He was former Minister of Justice and Attorney General under President Weah. I have indicated to them that I have no fish to fry. I have no reason to go after Musa Dean. And it is a misconception. And the reason is that Musa Dean himself, I think he has a little hard cue in understanding what he has put himself through. So what he does now is that he's trying to look for a scapegoat. The story goes like this. At a material time, a fellow called Mohammed Kamara found a diamond, 53.34 carat diamond.
Wow.
And that diamond was brought to town under dubious circumstances that created a controversy. And that led to a protest by the citizens from Smithtown to the home of President Weah. He then designated Musa Dean, who was Minister of Justice and Attorney General, to investigate and establish two things. First, the ownership of the diamonds, and there were controversies about the ownership, and then the origin. A panel of 15 members was set up, headed by the former Solicitor General, who was his friend that succeeded me after I led the Ministry of Justice. They went and investigated and reported that the diamond came from Smithtown. It came from claim 12F survey to be the property of David Slewer and Mohammed Kamara. After the report was submitted to him, on the 5th of July, he wrote a letter and said the diamond, he quoted a very wrong constitutional provision, Article 22A, and said the diamond was for the government of Liberia. Article 22A does not give property rights to the government of Liberia. So, on that basis, the Ministry of Lands and Mines, or Ministry of Mines and Energy now, wrote our client to say that the diamond belongs to the government of Liberia on July 12th. He wrote a letter on July 5th, and acting based on his letter, the Minister of Mines and Energy said the diamond belonged to the government. So I believe now, at that time, we believe that he had full custody and possession of the diamond. But mind you, when the diamond was found and there was argument here and there, the previous lawyers in the case filed a petition for judicial review on June 26, 2023.
Okay.
At that time, I was not counsel of record in the case. When they filed the petition before the court, while the case was in court, it was when Musa Dean wrote and claimed that the diamond belonged to the government of Liberia.
Okay.
And then, based on his letter, Gessler Murray wrote and said the diamond belonged to the government of Liberia. But the matter was still in court. While the matter was in court, on July 14, Gessler Murray wrote a fellow called Mustafa Tonkara to say to take custody of the diamond and made Mustafa Tonkara, despite the report that was written, to take seize of the diamond and to make an application to ship the diamond. The matter was in court. This is a man who called himself Attorney General.
Okay. While
the matter was in court, on July 18, the diamond was shipped out of the country and sold by Mustafa Tonkara.
Okay.
On August 4, the court ruled against Mustafa Tonkara and the Ministry of Lands and Mines and Energy. They filed a motion to dismiss the petition for judicial review the court ruled and denied the motion. They then announced appeal. Who appeared for the Ministry of Mines and Energy was the former Solicitor General, designated by Musa Dean, who then made it possible to go and argue. But as God will have it, before the matter ever reached the Supreme Court, they lost power. They lost political power. Okay. So that whole team of players left that had control of everything here and there. The whole team, including Musa Dean, left. At a certain point in time, Musa Dean was being appointed, nominated to the Supreme Court because when they knew that the diamond case was going there, that nomination was aborted by circumstances. So the new government has taken office. The Supreme Court has decided the matter. The judge presiding in the civil law court summoned the current Minister of Justice and the current Minister of Mines and Energy. And who's supposed to appear for them is the Solicitor General. The Solicitor General, Augustine C. Fire, appeared and spread on the records of the court that from a due diligence conducted by both ministries, including the current administration, they found no evidence of any turnover note or information regarding the proceeds of the diamond and how the diamond was disposed of. And therefore, asked the court to summon those who were in charge and who had knowledge of the diamond to see whether they can assist in the enforcement of the mandate of the Supreme Court. Based on that, the judge presiding in the civil law court, His Honor Judge J. Bama Konto, cited all of the parties who need, associated with the diamond. One of whom was Musa Dean. When they cited them, the first group appeared. When they appeared, Musa was not there. The second time they cited them, he instructed his son to sign for the notice of assignment because according to him, he was not within the bailiwick of the court or Mosurado County. His son signed for the notice of assignment. When the matter was called for the judge to find out, he did not show up. He did not send any excuse. His own excuse absent for the proceeding was contemptuous. So 4 notices of assignments were sent. Only the rest of the other who attended, Musa Dean and Gressel Murray, denied 10. Okay. So the judge then issued a contempt of court against Musa Dean and Gressel Murray and 4 other persons. The man who called himself professor of law, he knows that if the court holds you in contempt, the best thing to do is to appear before the court and, if possible, challenge the contempt or present your side of the case. What did he do? He fled to the Supreme Court and filed a petition for a writ of prohibition, a professor of law, to stop the enforcement of the mandate of the Honorable Supreme Court in Bank. On whom an order was issued, stay, and case was cited for the 16th. What happened, I don't know. How it happened, I don't know. All of a sudden, we saw the cancellation of that mandate that was issued by the justice presiding in chamber and said the court should proceed with the enforcement. Proceed with enforcement according to law. He then filed a petition, he filed a bill of information before the full bench. What is amazing about a bill of information? This time around, after 3 years, he's now changing from Article 22A to Article 22B. That's why you say you rely on. Somebody should be stupid, and only a dummy will do that. You said Article 22A that have been the argument for 3 years, and the Supreme Court ruled on that. Now you appear before Supreme Court now, you're changing from Article 22A to Article 22B. Well, that is beside the point. The purpose for which calling this gathering today is that when our side presented the side of the story, when he took the podium, which was his closing argument, he claimed that Syrenius Cephus has personal vendetta against him. And because of that, he knows who wrote the ruling, he knows who he knows. You think we don't know who wrote the ruling? You think we know? In such a condescending manner. That was absolutely egregious. And I was troubled. But somebody of that level who purports to be a professor of law would be so stupid to suggest that a mandate issued by the lower court, signed by the judge, will be instigated by me, and to express on the record, to argue before the court that I have personal vendetta against him. The only thing I'm doing, I'm only pursuing the case. And here what's happening, my brother. This country was founded on religious principle. Nobody speaks for David Cllr. He's sick. He can't walk. He can barely eat. If I don't send something to the house, nothing will be there. All the lawyers involved with the case will have to chip in here and there. There's a criminal who took the man down, he passing around, he using a connection, went to prayer people, went to a voodoo people, doing all the kind of thing. Went to a prayer woman, oh, Syrenius Cephus is behind me, pray for me here and there. What kind of foolishness is that? What kind of God is he serving? You stole somebody's diamond and you go to God to defend you? You ask him all of this and not going to pray for you? What is this? I have nothing personally against him. The only thing I'm doing, I'm only vigorously and forcefully pursuing the matter. The judge in the lower court was acting based on the presentation made by the Honorable Solicitor General to the effect that there being no information regarding the diamond. And therefore, those who were in charge should be asked to be able to tell the court where they did with the diamond. And the court was performing its duty. Excuse me. The arrest order was issued by the court, not by me. I have no part to play. But Musa Dean now is using a connection, a fraternity relation, a connection in places, and he's trying to label me foolishly that I'm behind him. Not me. If the Supreme Court decide and say Musa should not be held, I have no fish to fry. If the Supreme Court decide and say this is the way it should go, I have no fish to fry. My only role is I will continue to defend the poor woman. Now, if I'm behind, let's assume I'm behind. So is Justice Janet behind too? Is Justice Marker working right behind too? I'm not even a lawyer in the case. All pleadings, all briefs are signed by all the lawyers that are in the case. All the issues are framed and raised by the lawyer. The only thing I want to say is that Musa Dean should be man enough to tell the Liberian people at what point the diamond that he claimed was for the government of Liberia changed hands and became a private property and was sold for $1.4 million, and 50,000 was deposited into government revenue. What happened to the rest of the revenue? What happened to that rest of the revenue that was generated, or the other proceeds that were generated from the sale of the diamond? That is the question. It's not for me to answer. It is he who should answer that question. Now, people say, oh, you read an opinion, blah, blah, blah. My police called me, I have to explain to them. Me tell you, we prosecuted and convicted Honorable Brownie Samuka for taking a decision that we felt was ultra-virus. The state, the republic, not this government, the Republic of Liberia, is prosecuting the likes of Samuel Tuah and others for actions and conduct they claim to have performed in their official capacity. But when it comes to Musa Dean, he's a what better Attorney General? You citing Article 22A as a condition precedent to steal somebody's diamond. After 3 years, when the Supreme Court rule against you, you change and run and you say that Article 22B. What is Article 22B? Or what is Article 22A? It says Liberian citizens can own property individually in connection or jointly with other people. That's Article 22A. Article 22B says all the property, the mineral, everything under the surface here and there belong to the government of Liberia. But that provision of the Constitution have been dedicated to the Ministry of Lands and Mines. So Ministry of Lands and Mines now can give licenses for people to have claim, diamond claim, gold claim here and there. So we can't rely on it. Even if you were to use, according to him, let's take his argument for example. He said the quote-unquote Attorney General say he rely upon Section 9.9. Perfect. Under Liberian law, they say the life, liberty, and happiness of any Liberian citizen and property cannot be taken away absent due process hearing. So let's assume you did. The military government, you confiscate people, no hearing. Guess what he did? And it's shameful. He claimed to have had an instrument that came from the Ministry of Lands and Mines that was given to him. He said he acted on that instrument. No date, no letterhead, no signature, nothing. He himself prepared a flying paper. He said it came from Ministry of Lands and Mines. Guess what? The press release is attached that he flying around. He said that the press release that Ministry of Lands and Mines. Somebody should be stupid to even accept it. The press release is dated January 10, 2023. The demo was found on April 21, 2023. Can you issue a press release selling a demo that was not found? There's the man like going around, Anthony General. What can Anthony General? I have worked with him. Now I know he worked with him. I have 25 different letters in which he wrote and cited wrong laws. All. He gave me the chance I will publish them so Liberian people will see. And I'll tell so and so ended. All we want is for Omer David Cllr to get justice. For Omer David Cllr to get a diamond. So that he can go to a hospital for God's sake. This country was founded on Christian principle or religious principle. How do we sit and fold our hands when our fellow compatriots have been robbed by crooks and criminals like Musa Dean and others, and they're passing around, they weren't trying as if nothing has happened. And the only thing is, oh, that Cephus is behind, oh, Cephus is behind. How am I behind? The court issued an arrest order for him. Not me. I didn't sign anything. I was not part of it. So I have nothing against Musa Dean. I have nothing against. The only thing I will do, and all the lawyers that resort will do, is I will pursue the matter and ensure we'll get an end to it to make sure that the women get justice. I thank you.
Okay, Kasser.